All right, had a good day today. Taking it easy now, having my coffee. We got a lot done. I got leather out here. I haven't started cutting yet, but we started laying out templates and everything else. This has been a common theme with what I've been talking about the last couple of weeks. I know probably nobody watching these videos and nobody really cares, but for those that have an order in and are wondering what's going on, after this move out here from Portland, one of the things I'm trying to do is to get everything streamlined so that we have a better, smoother process, and we also increase our quality at the same time. Because all of that is possible, but it takes a little legwork up front. That's why it's taken so long to get these two knives done. Every day I'm sitting here reaching for something that isn't there because I'm used to working in a shop that I had for years. Now I'm in a different location. So I either got to build a new jig that didn't make it in the move. I can't believe how many little things I either lost or can't find. But anyway, the point being, we're getting there. Everything has come along good. These guards, hang on a second. So these guards, you probably see these knives here. I'm sure you notice. This is an M7. All this thing needs, I gotta just do a little bit of polishing down here on the cord ring. But I mean, this guy is ready. It's ready to go. It's ready for leather. Got our asymmetrical guard done on here. And man, these things, the M7 is never gonna be a big chopper just because not only of the length of the blade. To me, a blade doesn't start becoming a chopper until around 9 inches or so. When you get into 10, then you start getting into, even 11, into really effective chopping blades for a knife. But I mean, 7 3/4 inches is not going to be an effective chopping knife. However, it will chop, it will do some, but you're going to get a lot of other capabilities out of this knife. You've got a saw that works. I didn't test this one because by the time I thought of that, I'd already had it finished ground and ready to go. And frankly, it makes it easier if I sharpen the saw teeth after doing leather because it has a tendency to just grip. These, you wouldn't believe. When I say these teeth are sharp, it's not they're sharp like a razor. It's that the points, all the angles are ground to crisp, edges and angles. They're not just, sloppy or soft angles that I kind of wash into the grinder. They're crisp. I'm not saying I'm perfect and I don't make mistakes. I do, don't get me wrong. But these angles are crisp, and even right now, being unsharpened, the corners and edges are sharp. So anyway, the point being, we do that after heat or after leather. So that'll be then. I am going to this week, probably tomorrow, go ahead and sharpen the saw teeth on this M1, and we're going to see how this saw does going through wood. The M7, under perfect, ideal conditions, will go through 2x4 in about 23 to 25 seconds. Now, to be fair, that's with it clamped into a vise and me really going to town. Now, I mean, in the wild, if you're out in the wilderness and you're survivaling, guys, I don't know. Frankly, I don't know that I will, would use a saw much for actually cutting. It's going to do real good for making notches, like if you're making traps, or if you're making some other structure around camp, like a chair or, locking things together. It'll make notches that will line up and match. It's great for that. And I mean, obviously it will saw, but I don't know that I would use that a whole lot for actual, felling trees or processing lumber or whatever you want to call it. So anyways, what it would take to do a 2x4 or a comparable branch in the wild, I don't know. I've never timed it out there. Usually I'm sweating too hard by the time I get to that point. But it's not going to be as fast as clamped into the vise. But anyway, back to the point. With this M1, we've got a longer saw. And because it's heavier, we're going to have, and just the way it's made and shaped and balanced, we'll probably have a little better leverage and the physics will be a little bit more on our side. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I would say, I don't think we're going to get much faster than 25 seconds though. I mean, I really don't know what the benchmark is, but that seems pretty good to me. I don't know how much faster you're going to go through with something like that. Because you got a 1/4 inch kerf on this one, the amount of wood you got to remove. On this one, you're sneaking up on 5/16 of an inch. So I guess we'll see. But that's that. Same thing on this one. Asymmetrical guard is shaped. We're good to go. Lanyard holes, cord ring, steel plated butt cap. The cord ring is all locked in there. We got, that's what I was going to say, the asymmetrical guard. So I get a lot of questions and requests and stuff on why don't you do like a double lug combat guard like on some of the Sly 2, the Lyle Sly 2 knives and others. Guys, I don't have much of an interest in doing that. These aren't designed to be primarily combat knives. And I don't know that a double lug guard is going to do a whole lot more for you if you find yourself in combat with this, you know, or something like this, than this guard right here. Now, maybe it will, I don't know. I've never been in a knife fight in combat, so I couldn't really say. I couldn't really say. But the reason for the asymmetrical guard is, number one, it's longer down here on the edge side so that you can hook your finger in there, and it's supported on that portion of the guard. And it's fully radius, top and bottom, all the way around. Even this edge here is not a flat edge. It's a radius, so that it's comfortable as steel is going to be in your hand. So the bottom guard is a little bit longer than the edge, so you can hook your finger in there if you want. The top guard is a little shorter so that you can get your thumb over the top of it, and you can really, you know, put it like this here, and you can really quite comfortably choke up on this knife, and it performs, it almost feels, it's very similar to the SS2 style knife, or size knife, which is a 6-inch blade. So this is 7 3/4 inches from the top of the guard to the tip. When you choke up on it like this, I mean, you can use that belly right there. Then you got down here where you can really do fine push strokes. So the asymmetrical guard, in my opinion, for a knife that's designed to be used, you know, outdoors or backpacking, hiking, car camping, fantasy survivaling, whatever it is that guys are going to do with this. I mean, I'll be honest, I've done some, you know, some fun thing, interesting things. I'm sure people would laugh if they saw me and some of the things I've done with these knives in the woods. So people laugh when they see me walking down the street anyway. But same thing with this big M1. It has the asymmetrical guard. So this one's a little bigger. It has to be for proportions. I tried out a couple of different templates that had the sizes were smaller. It didn't fit visually, and it didn't quite feel right either. So, but this is still radiused all the way around, so you can hook your finger up there if you want to go like this, you know, do little snap cuts. You can get your thumb over the top, and the same thing. You can now take this nearly 10-inch blade, and you can make it perform a lot more like a smaller blade, you know, a more wieldable blade for finer detail work with the help of that asymmetrical guard. So that's why that's so important to me. But anyway, I've probably gone on too long. This is a daily video here. I'm sure everybody's getting tired of hearing these things. But I figure if we go through the whole process of making a couple of these knives, it'll help, you know, people to understand what it is that, you know, some of the options are. Hang on. You can understand what some of the options are and why I do it that way. I don't claim to be perfect, and I don't claim that my knives are flawless, either in design or in execution. I do try very hard, though, to give you the very best tool that you can have for whatever you need to do to make it out alive. That's the whole concept of the MOA system, make it out alive. So, you know, a lot of these details people aren't going to care about, but there are some people that love long videos, that love long write-ups. If you don't want to watch it, I understand. You can flip the channel or change the station or whatever it is we say now. But anyway, I want to get the information out there for those that are interested. I'll kind of go through some of the leather work, but leather work has been discussed a lot on, you know, forums and YouTube, and frankly, leather work is pretty straightforward. We'll definitely do some kind of showing the process and, you know, the design and everything, but it'll be mostly finished pictures. But I'll get some decent pictures of these up in the next day or two. So anyhow, that covers my end of it, guys. I appreciate the support and the patience, and we're getting better every day. I felt everything starting to come back today when I was working on the grinder, yesterday when I was milling the guards and everything else. It's starting to come back into play. So next round, I made a lot of jigs, a lot of little templates for just a bunch of stuff. I'm going to do the same thing going through leather this time. So it's going to make the whole process a lot better, smoother, and cleaner next time around. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.